guys, it's Brenda Turner from LeanSecrets.com. On my last video, the most thumbs up comment was how great the video was. But then the second thumbs up comment was what my fitness story was. I'm just gonna jump right into the video. Here's my fitness story. First of all, health problems run in my family. Heart disease, diabetes, various maladies, even alcoholism, like lots of health problems that I personally believe are directly correlated with diet. I remember being really young and noticing that my grandmother was missing half of her foot because of diabetes and not understanding at the time why. Later on, I learned about why she had, what diabetes was, what the cause of it was, and it just made me really, I guess, outraged. I had this feeling of like total astonishment, total outrage, and total just disappointment. And not disappointment in her, but disappointment in the fact that she probably didn't know any better about the food choices she was making. That's the case with millions of people that have diabetes. Learning that most of the problems that affect my family and so many other families is directly correlated to nutrition and lifestyle, and that those maladies can be usually prevented. It played a big part in this path that I chose. I'm a big believer in that everyone kind of has a purpose, and I'm not sure if I chose this or if it chose me. I don't know, but when I wake up in the morning, it's like the first thing I think about is learning new things about health and how to help people be the healthiest version of themselves that they can be. I take a power hour in the morning, and I absolutely love taking an hour to just read the most nerdy, sciencey, research-heavy books that I can get my hands on. I have a whole storage closet full of notebooks that I've taken notes and all that stuff. So I love this. I love this, and that's how I know I'm supposed to be doing this. I really, truly believe within my being, within my bones, I believe it down to my core, that when you are able to control your body and have total control of your health, that you can do anything else. You can conquer anything. I've known a lot of people and worked with a lot of people who have lost tremendous amounts of body fat, and it is the hardest thing to do. But once you get that done, and once you're able to take full control of the vessel, that is like the most powerful thing anybody can do. For me to have even a little tiny role in helping somebody to lay that spiritual and physical foundation in their lives, it's more meaningful to me than I could possibly express to you guys. It's just like so important. That is my driving force. That is the reason that I do what I do. I'm gonna take you guys back, way back, to the past. I was 16 years old when I met my boyfriend at the time, who was an 18-year-old personal trainer. He basically just got me doing a little bit of weight training. I was never ever athletic in school, didn't really like sports, but once he started training me and I started enjoying fitness, I went to gym class and I told my teacher, and she was really proud, so she would let me teach the aerobics classes on Fridays. She would say, okay, like, she had so much faith in me, or maybe she was just a nut job, I don't know. I really loved her. Her name was Miss Williams. She would let me teach the aerobics classes, and I freaking loved it, you guys. I loved it so much. I would go to Ballys after school, hang out with my boyfriend at the time, but not just hang out with him. He had clients. I would be watching him train his clients, just like enamored, being like, how is this possible that somebody can get paid to be in a gym and to help people get in shape and be healthy? It just clicked in my head that this is what I really want to do. From that point, I began reading books like a maniac. Just reading anything I could get my hands on. Bodybuilding Bible, even if it's for men, intended for men, I'll read it. Oh yeah, and I brought this for you guys. One of the most important and formative books of my life is called Natural Hormonal Enhancement by an author named Rob Fagan. This is such a relic. It's no longer in print, really hard to find. This is my third copy because the first two copies were just tattered and in such bad shape. This kind of opened the doors to my critical thinking in terms of nutrition. This basically is meant for male bodybuilders who are going to be carb cycling. I've told you guys that I carb cycle, and I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says in this book. He's a big fan for, this is, like I said, mainly intended for men. And he's a big fan of very high fat, very low carb days that consist of like eating hamburgers with cheese on them. It's just not my style. But this book, really, really good. Another couple good authors are Paul Chek. He's wonderful. Suzanne Summers is wonderful. And certifications from Paul Chek. You just can't go wrong with Paul Chek. I'm a big, big Paul Chek fan. Those are some of the formative reading. And I always, like I said, I always read every day something new, try to teach myself something new. A lot of people ask me, are you a registered dietitian? I was going to school while I was being a personal trainer. I was going to school, paying a whole lot of money, and finding that I disagreed so strongly with what they were telling me, and I was paying so much money, it was just pointless. So I am so against, at that time they were teaching things like the food pyramid and things like counting calories and things that I really strongly, even back then, disagreed with. They changed the food pyramid. The food pyramid is no longer cereal and bread on the bottom and all of that stuff, which is what they were touting. And going back a little, my grandmother with diabetes, I can remember her drinking hot cocoa that was sugar-free. I'm not bashing anybody at all, but I disagree with the prescriptions that they were giving her from my memory from what she was eating. Lots of packaged, low-fat junk food, in my opinion. I am so much against anything that the government has advised for diet and nutrition. They are very much corrupt, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. The FDA, the Monsanto, it's just all a big mess. I wouldn't want to pay somebody to tell me the stuff that's basically just refeed from the government. Just not a big fan. What I like to do instead of have a whole lot of college debt, there's nothing wrong with college, but because of the field that I'm in, it's always changing. You always have to read new things. You always have to be recertified. And also the information that's out there right now is so abundant and so free. All you have to really do is always read up, always read the studies, make sure that you follow them yourself, educate yourself on a constant basis, keep getting your certifications, find people that you trust, that you find credible. I really am a big fan of Paul Chek, and like I said before, any Paul Chek certification, always getting new Paul Chek certifications. There's various ways to keep yourself educated and keep yourself on the ball in this industry without having tons of college debt. In terms of like my personal fitness, my heaviest weight was probably about 165. I'm 5'4", and this is probably about that time. This is not a good picture, and I'm not a big fan of taking pictures, but let me see. Do you see? I'm the one right here. That's my baby sister. My face looks huge. So that's that. I think I was probably, I don't know, this was a little bit before I started the whole fitness thing. This is me after I lost a lot of weight, but I was doing it the wrong way in terms of fitness, in terms of cardio. I was doing a whole lot of elliptical training, a whole lot of stair climber, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I wasn't doing any weight training because I was scared I was going to get bulky. So here's my butt, you guys. I lost weight, but I also lost a lot of shape, and it's not terrible. I'm not ashamed of this picture. I'm not ashamed of any of my pictures, but I had, quite literally, I had a pancake butt. No butt whatsoever. What I wanted to show you guys is here's me about 19. Here's me at 27. I'm holding it together, people. I'm holding it together. So I'm really, what I want to also mention to you guys, if you're young, start now. Don't wait until until you're 30 and you've accelerated the aging process and you've deteriorated your health. Although even if you're 30, it's never too late to start. But the younger you are, the faster you get on this whole thing, the better off you're going to be. And it's just really good for longevity. So start early, start early, start early. And if you didn't start early, start now. I'm going to kind of try to wrap this up. So as a personal trainer at Ballys, I was hired by my good friend Renmar, and I freaking love Ren. He's still a good friend of mine today. That was like the time of my life, being working at Ballys. I was also a group exercise instructor. I taught Power Flex classes, and I did all this at a little gym in Deerfield, Illinois. Great time, really hard work, and for those of you who are wondering about like getting into the industry, you have to make sure that you really like it. You have to love this so much, because there are going to be times when you don't have much money, because it's not always the most lucrative career, and it takes a lot of hours, a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, and a lot of passion. That's pretty much it. That's my fitness story. I hope that this wasn't too boring for you guys, and other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I have a funny story also, post-video blooper story. On one of my first days on the floor as a personal trainer, I was walking along thinking, this is going to be so great, this is going to be awesome, and boom, right into a pole. Story of my life. I had a black eye and everything. It was hilarious, and everybody saw it. It was like the busiest time of the whole day. So that's a little funny story for you. Tons of funny stories like that. Tons of funny stories like that, but that's one of the ones that stand out. I had a black eye for like a week after that. Bye.